Hey there, this is Brittany from Just Be Crafty. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this super lush shimmer crochet scarf. I offer this pattern for free on my blog, as well as an ad-free printable version available for purchase in my Etsy shop. I'll have links to both options in the description box below. This tutorial is beginner friendly, but assumes you already know the following skills: chaining, single crochet, and double crochet. Once you've learned those skills, I'm confident you can tackle this pattern. For a complete list of materials, as well as other important pattern information, please see the link in the description box below. And before we get started, I want to take the time to invite you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and to hit the bell so you are notified whenever I post a new tutorial. If you enjoy this tutorial, be sure to let me know by giving the video a thumbs up. And now, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off today's project by creating a slipknot. We're going to put that slipknot onto our crochet hook, and we are going to make a foundation chain of 45 chains. We now have our foundation chain of 45, and we're ready to begin row 1. Starting in the second chain from your hook, you're going to make a single crochet. In the next stitch, you're going to make a double crochet. In the next chain, a single crochet. And in the next chain, a double crochet. Keep alternating between single crochets and double crochets until you get to the end of the row. I've reached my last chain, and in my last chain I'll be placing a double crochet. We're now ready to turn our work and begin row 2. To start row 2, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip that first stitch and crochet into that next stitch. So you're going to make a single crochet, and you're going to double crochet into that same stitch. You'll skip the next stitch, and into the following stitch, you'll single crochet and double crochet into that same stitch. Skip the next stitch, and in the following stitch, single crochet and double crochet into the same stitch. You're going to repeat that process across the entire row. And as you crochet, you'll notice that you're actually skipping the double crochets from the previous row and placing your stitches into the single crochets from the previous row. So if you'd like, pause here and meet back up with me once you reach the end of the row. At this point, I just have a couple stitches left. I'm skipping my next stitch, and I'm placing a single crochet and a double crochet into the following stitch. And now I'm ready to place my last stitches. So I'm skipping that next stitch, and I'm crocheting into that last stitch. It's a little bit difficult to see, but just make sure you're crocheting into that very last stitch. You should be ending the row with 44 stitches, and each row preceding should have 44 stitches as well. As long as your stitch count is right, you should have even looking edges. We're now ready to begin row 3. To begin row 3, we're going to chain 1, and just like we did for row 2, we're going to skip that first stitch and go into the next stitch. We're going to be making a single crochet and a double crochet into that same stitch. From here on out, you're just going to keep repeating row 2 until you've used up all of your yarn. As you get going on your project, it should eventually start looking like this, and here's just a refresher of where you place your last stitch. I'm going to skip the double crochet from the previous row, so I'm placing my last stitch into that single crochet from the previous row. So I'm single crocheting and double crocheting into that last stitch. At this point, I suggest you go ahead and pause here and meet back up with me once you've used up all your yarn. And then we can work on weaving in our ends. I'm just about to the end of my yarn ball and I just have a couple more stitches left. So I'm placing my single crochet and double crochet into the same stitch. And now I'm ready to place my last 2 stitches. I'm skipping that next stitch and I'm placing my stitches into that last stitch, my single crochet, and now my double crochet. And that's what it should look like. So as you can see, that's all the yarn that I have left, obviously not enough to complete another row. So I'm going to just fasten this off. So I'm going to pull the tail through the loop on my hook and pull tight to secure. Now I'm ready to weave in my ends, so I'm going to grab my yarn needle and thread it with my tail. And now to weave in, I'm just going to insert my needle into the stitches as inconspicuously as possible to try to hide my tail. So I'm just going down through a few stitches. This part can be a little bit tedious. Once you feel your ends are sufficiently weaved in, clip your yarn tails. Repeat this process for all remaining tails. And there you have it, that's the Shimmer Crochet Scarf. I really hope you found today's tutorial helpful. If you did, please let me know by giving the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a new tutorial. I come out with new tutorials on Tuesdays and new stitch techniques on Fridays, so you definitely don't want to miss out. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!